Undercurrent, sponsored by John Hughes in Victoria Park. Choose your station before you choose your program. Absolutely.
And welcome to another episode of Undercurrent at what is almost the beginning of National Volunteering Week here in Australia, and more about that throughout the show. I'm Christy Mollica. Well, first up on tonight's show, Jasmine Amiss investigates a new program by the Department of Consumer Protection that means you won't get stung when getting your car serviced.
Owning a car in WA accounts for 16% of the average household budget, so we need to be alert when servicing our vehicles. Recently, a service company in Midland was fined for quoting a customer for repairs they didn't need.
In this instance, the fellow had taken his vehicle in for a normal service, and they had then, in the course of that service, identified that it needed a range of work done to the brakes on the vehicle. It was something approaching $800. Now, he didn't believe that that was the sort of work that was required, and he's contacted Consumer Protection. So we invited the fellow in so that we could have a look at the vehicle, and we found that simply didn't need those repairs carrying out. So what we got there is a misrepresentation from the mechanical workshop trying to tell someone that they've got work required on their vehicle when that wasn't the case. And that becomes a breach of the Australian consumer law, misrepresentations which are going on, and we've then subsequently taken prosecution action against those people.
Have we been ripped off by a car mechanic?
No, we haven't, sorry.
That's okay. Do you think there's like a problem in WA, however, of people being ripped off?
I've only heard of it on the radio, but I haven't experienced it myself.
No, I get a pretty good deal with my mechanic actually. He is a mobile mechanic and did the right thing by me when I first got the car, and it's been good ever since, so I've held on to him.
Yeah, I heard that it's pretty bad here.
Yes, I have been ripped off.
Well, I went to the mechanic and I asked what was wrong with my car, and I've just they pick out heaps that's wrong with your car that isn't even really wrong with it and charge you for it.
I think when people are getting quotes done, they do need to keep their antenna up, and it's the same for the automotive industry as it is for building trades or any other profession out there. You are very much at the mercy of the business you're dealing with. If something doesn't sound right, go and get another quote. We would always encourage people to shop around and get the best price, but make sure that you are quoting with the same product and the same standard.
Do you think that that's an idea for people before they go to a mechanic to seek someone else's opinion?
Yeah, I'd probably get a couple of opinions. If you've got a mate that obviously works with cars, then I'd get them to have a quick look over and then make sure they're not charging you the world.
Yeah, do you think it's hard to find a good mechanic in WA?
Oh, I can definitely see why people wouldn't trust them, given there's been some news reports and stuff on them. So yeah, it's definitely an issue for people, given they don't have much knowledge of cars and they rely on them, to be honest.
If they know somebody that's been going to somebody in their family for a couple of years and they've been pretty happy about it, then I suppose it's the best way to go with what you know.
The overwhelming majority of mechanical operators in this state are doing the right thing. It is a difficult aspect. Technology in cars is becoming much greater.
Now, I'm certainly not saying that it's rife that everyone's car that's being repaired is being over-repaired and over-serviced. In this instance, it was a good, clean matter that we could establish the misleading nature of the advice and we could take a prosecution action. That's not always the case. Often it's a suspicion about what's been done, and to take a matter to court, we've got to have good, clean, firm evidence about it.
Have you heard of Consumer Protection and what they do for people that have been ripped off?
Yes, definitely. I know they can check the cars afterwards and see how they got ripped off, yeah. I do know that.
No, not the cars, but I know with mobiles and all that kind of stuff that we've had issues with, but no, didn't know they did it with cars.
Yeah, well, I mean, that would be the place to go if you did have that situation, but hopefully it never comes to that.
Thanks so much. Consumer Protection warns there will be immediate action against any service company or repairer found to be misleading their customers, risking a fine and losing their licence. This has been Jasmine Armis for Undercurrent.
Well, as I mentioned at the top of the show, we are about to embark on National Volunteering Week here in Australia, and to help celebrate Keep Australia Beautiful, would like to reward volunteers of the past and encourage new volunteers as well. Now, it's very easy to put yourself in the running for the $50 prize. All you have to do is take part in the Keep Australia Beautiful Mitchell Freeway Cleanup Day on May 20, or let them know about your volunteering experiences in the past. All you have to do is go to kabc@dec.wa.gov.au. So go on. Well, next up on Undercurrent, Fernanda Mizzen takes a look at the very recent social media conference.
We went to City of Rockingham Social Media Forum to discover how social media can be useful for you.
I think the power of social media in society is that the power is that it's a place where people are spending all of their time, or the majority of their time. So if you think about it, Facebook, the average Australian spends about 8 hours a month on Facebook, but they spend about 17 minutes a month on traditional news sites like the Sydney Morning Herald website. So it's the amount of time that people in Australia are spending within these platforms and within the social media environment that make it such a powerful platform.
In the forum, the Mayor Barry Samuels announced the Facebook, Twitter and YouTube of City of Rockingham.
It's really important for the City of Rockingham now to engage with our community. There's a lot of younger people out in the community that are using social media like Facebook and like Twitter, and I guess this is the city's way of that we can engage with them. A lot of people are joining Facebook. More than 51% of the Australian population are on Facebook.
Well, I think social media is definitely a business tool. I think one of the first things that businesses or companies can do with social media is to actually use it as a tool to listen to their customer.
Being able to make comments, and we are able to give back some feedback. So if they have something happening in their street, they've missed the bin being picked up, we're able to help them out straight away.
A friend of mine in the US who's a government blogger, she once said to me that businesses need to be in social media for the same reason that the post office puts the post offices down in the centers of cities. It's because that's where people are, and that's where people are spending their time.
Obviously, I think at federal level and state level they're doing that. Local government has just touched on it, and I think we're taking it to the next level. We've trained our staff up for our staff to be involved in it as well, so it's a really interaction.
Negative points are there's risk with social media with this two-way dialogue, but the great thing is it's easy to moderate or to mitigate some of those risks. For instance, if you have a Facebook page, one of the simple things that you can do is to have house rules on your page, which lets people know that you're moderating the page and that you'll be responding and reviewing and removing posts that contain things like profanity or spam or irrelevant advertising.
Can you imagine the world without Facebook and other social medias?
It's pretty hard now. I think it's come so far so quickly. It's been so immediate. I can't really, no. I think it's very useful to the public. I mean, I have a Facebook page for my own business.
But it allows me to really keep close bonds with my family back in the US. So there's a professional benefit as well as a personal benefit as well. So I guess it allows you to connect with people in a really deep way.
With social medias, we don't search the news anymore. They find us. I am Fernanda Mizzen, reporting for Undercurrent.
And don't forget, you can be a part of National Volunteering Week by taking part in the Keep Australia Beautiful Mitchell Freeway Cleanup on May 20, starting at 8 a.m, so get involved. Well, next up on Undercurrent, it's time for our all-important Vox Pop segment. Now, this week, Janae Tomlinson took to the streets of Perth to find out if you think it's fair that the execs of our utility companies are getting pay rises when our bills are on the up and up.
It has been recently announced that utilities companies have increased the pay their executives are receiving. This comes at a time when the average household is struggling to pay their bills. We hit the streets to ask if you think the pay rise is deserved and how you feel about wealth distribution in Perth.
Do you find it hard to pay your water and gas bills?
I've noticed that they're increasing, certainly.
Not at present, but I guess I will soon. Keep going up like they do.
Have you noticed the price of water and gas bills increasing lately?
Not really.
Yes, I have, but we were warned.
Yeah, I guess lots of people get pay rises.
Yes, I have. They have gone up pretty high.
Have you noticed an increase lately?
Have I? It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
Did you know that executives of utility companies have actually taken a pay rise?
Oh yes, I know that. That's fine for them to do that because we're paying for it with our increases in our utilities.
So you don't think it's deserved?
Of course not. Do you think it's deserved? No, I don't. Definitely not.
Yes, I have read that in the media and it's been a topical issue.
Do you think it's deserved, or do you have any opinions on this?
Well, it would depend on what they're being paid to do, I think, in fairness to them, and if they're also delivering on their employment, you know, contracts.
I would not say anything because I'm from utility company as well.
That wouldn't surprise me. They've all got to get their money.
Well, I think I have to defend them here because, you know, they are under the fire most of the time. They have to face criticism most of the time what they don't do, but they don't get the appreciation what they do most of the time.
Do you think the pay rise is deserved?
Probably not.
I guess each would be case by case whether someone deserves a pay rise. I guess that if it's to do with the government, then maybe some of that money could go to better causes.
Do you think there's a bit of a wealth distribution problem in Perth?
Well, I don't come from Perth, but I don't see it's probably much different than anywhere else in Australia.
Possibly there is. Probably in most big cities, though, you find the same.
I think there's a wealth distribution problem in the whole world.
Of course there is. Yeah, the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
Yeah, people like you and I have far too much and we should give it to the poor.
Absolutely. If you arrived in the city like I did this morning at 6:30 and you see people homeless lying here, you would have to think that there's obviously not care available and people are in tough economic times.
Most people find it unfair that executives of these companies are getting paid so much while households are struggling to pay their bills. I'm Janae Tomlinson reporting for Undercurrent.
So to get your head on the telly and to have your say on those pressing West Australian issues, you can find us in the city around about lunchtime every Tuesday. I'm Christy Mollica and there's plenty more Undercurrent to come on the other side of the ad break.
Undercurrent, sponsored by John Hughes in Victoria Park. Choose your station before you choose your program. Absolutely.